Hi, good afternoon, everyone. Good morning or good evening to wherever you are joining us from today. My name is Celina Bryan, and I'll be your host this session on What's Next, Life After the Masters in International Hotel Management. Throughout our conversation, if you have any questions, please feel free to just drop them in the question box below, and we'll answer them as we go along. And today we are joined by Class of 2013, Inmaculada Muñoz, General Manager of Iberostar Hotels, and Class of 2020, Guillermo Gomez-Asemo, co-founder and head of operations for Ojimah. So why don't we begin with a short introduction about yourselves and why you chose to pursue this degree. Inma, perhaps ladies first?
Yeah, okay, perfect. Well, first of all, thank you very much to all the Les Roches team, because it's truly a pleasure to be part of this. I'm sure Guillermo also thinks the same. And well, I'm working right now as a general manager in Palma de Mallorca with Iberostar Hotels and Resorts. Just very quick to tell you how was more or less my experience. I've graduated in Les Roches in 2013. Before that, I had a business administrations, and I travel around a little bit in order to learn languages. So I moved to the USA, Germany, and Austria. So then, because I also wanted to speak German, because I knew that I wanted to work in the hospitality sector. And then, well, of course, I've chosen Les Roches. And after that, I started doing an internship with Barcelona Hotels and Resorts, but I didn't finish that because I got a very nice opportunity with Iberostar Hotels and Resorts. So I started working as a vice director or assistant manager at Iberostar in Marbella. So go back to Marbella again. And then I moved to certain places in Andalusia. I got promoted as a manager 2 years after graduated in Les Roches. So they moved me to Budapest. They were like, okay, we promoted you, but we're going to send you to Budapest during the winter time. So that was a very nice experience. I started in Budapest as a manager. Then I went to Marbella once again. So it was a very nice experience. After 2 years, I moved to Lisbon, and then I'm here. To be honest, it has been, every project has been very interesting because in Marbella, I got the opportunity to do a full hotel renovation. In Lisbon, it was the first hotel we opened in Portugal. So it was also a kind of a very cultural experience, because at the end you need to implement certain regulations, also certain procedures. And then here in Palma de Mallorca, this is my 3rd year. So I got the opportunity to do a concept renovation and repositionate this hotel. So I've moved a little bit, but always, to be honest, my whole experience, it has been with Iberostar Hotels and Resorts.
Amazing. Thank you, Ma. Such a great selection of places, countries that you've lived in, that you've worked in over the past few years. And now, Guillermo, you're a more recent graduate. Tell us about your experience and how you ended up studying at La Roche.
Well, hello, I'm Guillermo. As you know, don't have the experience that Inma has, but it's pretty amazing, Inma. But I will tell you my experience. I first wanted to go to Les Roches when I went to London and work in a restaurant to learn English and so on. And after that experience, I knew that I wanted to be in hospitality. So it was since I was pretty young that I knew. I started business administration here in Madrid, and I went back to Les Roches. And since I went back to Les Roches, I've done all the internship that I had to do this year. It's been in Dubai. So to any of you that has any doubt to go out of Europe, in this case to the UAE, that you maybe don't know that much, depending on where you come from. It's been a pretty amazing experience from my point of view. And if you have any doubt, in any case, that you being a master's or any program student that is going out, they will give you opportunity any hotel you were, because I've been with, even I had the internship in F&B, and I had the opportunity to become a supervisor after 4 months, 5 months. I didn't choose to come back because the project I'm working, I will tell you a little bit about it. But this is to let you know, to motivate you, that for us, whenever we go, if during the internship, and as my friends got as well, you got promoted easily. So anywhere you go, as Inma has an amazing career experience so far in 7 years since he graduated. You have to, I think, moving around from, I think it's 1-2 years, almost mostly 3 in every position. I think Inma is like what I've heard from everybody, and from there keep moving. And in my case, the startup that I'm creating, this is also thanks to Les Roches, because I'm creating this startup with a teacher who is he has also a business, and he's has this entrepreneurial spirit and so on. And not only that luck that I had apart from Dubai and this project, but the fact of now Les Roches is encouraging people to, with the Spark program, to entrepreneur, to this I think new generation that is my generation, and the one who's coming, who we all want to do everything, and we have this entrepreneurial mindset and so on. I think tourism after COVID is going to be renewed. So I would say you to be bold and try to come with any idea. In the rest, you will find the proper people as well as teachers. I mean, normal is to start with students and so on, but you will have plenty of opportunities. And what I'm creating is an all-in travel agency, but called Travel Technology Platform, because it's a one-stop platform where you can find any service to book a trip in the same platform. We will launch the beta version in about 10 days and 2 weeks, and it's been a whole journey. It's not easy. We've been almost for 1 year working on it. There is quite bureaucracy, mostly when you want to go global, and all this is not easy. You have to pick a market, but it's an amazing experience. It's about encouraging yourself to keep going, and it's a fact of not looking for problems or focusing on the problems, but finding solutions. And that's also what I think I've learned in the Roche. Like, there's nothing too complicated to not come through it, because that's what I also put in the answers that I replied to you, saying that the vibe, the ambient in Les Roches is amazing, and you will find very comfortable. And when you have that experience, that okay, you are studying, but it's kind of the same thing that if you're working, because teachers, everybody treats you as a professional. So at the end, that was very helpful also for me to work in Dubai, because I knew how to get along with colleagues, with superiors as well, and they feel that everybody says, okay, you come from Les Roches, and I can see that. So it's like a thing you have.
Mhm. Let me just comment something, Celina. Well, first of all, Guillermo, that's pretty amazing. And you said 2 things that I think that are very, very important. Well, first of all, being an entrepreneur is something that I'm really, it's incredible. That's something I'm not able to do. So really, congratulations. But you said 2 things that I think they are very, very important. One of that is that actually, and I felt the same, Les Roches is supporting you after the whenever you are done with the master or with the degree. They are always there, and I have that experience also. It's not only about being involved in these activities, which is actually great, but I have certain problems, certain doubts, we can say. And I remember that I called them like, hey, this is happening to me, and they are always supporting you. So that was actually something very very, very, very important. And another thing that you said is that I also felt that whenever you come from Les Roches, they are like, oh my God, so you are coming from Les Roches, because of course there is a reputation at the end. So
exactly.
Those things I completely agree, and I felt like this as well.
Yeah, I think that's a great point. As you mentioned, it's very much recognized in the industry as being a top leader in, not only a hotel management school, but also producing the great talent. I mean, such as yourself, Inma, you're general manager now. You've been in the industry already for, as a general manager for about 6, 7 years. Guillermo, you're having that entrepreneurial spirit, that drive to really push the boundaries of innovation within hospitality. And that is, the core DNA of Les Roches. We're really pushing the students to go out and be the next best thing, to really be creative and be bold with your decisions and your actions. But you also mentioned a really good point, that it prepared you to deal with the different cultures. Going to Dubai, it's a completely different culture for many of us in Europe. How is that for you? And then Inma will get to your multicultural experience as well afterwards.
Well, in my case, it was pretty special. Well, Dubai, I think any hotel you go is 5-star, most of them. the options actually we have in Les Roches, and it teaches you how to really push yourself up, because there is competence there. There's a lot of competency with other people, but if you do your job, it will be fine. And there is in Dubai, in the case of Dubai, all the people who work in hospitality are European, so they are in the same situation as you. They feel you, so they empathize with you. So in that sense, you can come with people. You will do easily friends and will know people as well, so you won't be felt alone or something, because if it's not from Les Roches, it's from Luge, it's from Lyon. So at the end, we have all the same background, student background, and so on. We are in the same situation. And when I think that's pretty much it, because I knew most of the people that I know that is there wanted to stay in Dubai in this case. Or there's another friend who's going to Hong Kong, for example. Another friend that just arrived to Dubai, that he was hesitating, but I told him, come on, let's go. So it's about, don't think much about it, because I wanted to go before COVID to London, Europe, and so on. I didn't have another choice to go, and I couldn't have done it better, taking a better choice, because okay, you can always come, well, Europe, whatever, you live closer, you live your continent and so on, but if you go out, that will help you much more. It will push you up when you come back and you want to apply for a managerial position as well. Because if you go far 2 years or 3 years, you take another experience from another culture, from different cultures, and that for our world, for our job is basic, to know how to deal with all type of people. So that's pretty much it.
And I think that's the beauty of it too, right? You're exposed to so many different cultures on campus. While you're at school, you're studying with so many different people, but then you're also equally exposed to different opportunities to study, not to study, sorry, to get your work experience and your internships across, anywhere in the world. Of course, depending on visa restrictions, but the opportunities there are endless, and it's just seeing those opportunities and seizing the opportunities when they arise. Inma, I know you know a lot about seeing the opportunities and taking them when you can, so please share.
Well, first of all, it's true what, of course, what Guillermo was saying. It's very important just to mention that it's one of the reasons why I've also chosen Les Roches. It was because of this intercultural atmosphere. At the end, you get to know, you learn how to respect other cultures, how to work in groups, also how to work individually, and at the end, those are things that you really needed for your professional life. Yeah, now that you're talking about luck, I just wanted to share with you one of my favorite sentences. And I think I have a story maybe behind. I will try to make it very quick. But one of my favorite sentences, luck is what happens when preparation meets opportunity. Sometimes people are telling, look, yeah, you're so lucky, but then you are prepared for that. I mean, like, it's a combination of both. So actually, from my perspective, Les Roches prepares you for that. So then you have the base, you have your master's degree, and of course, it's the first step to keep on learning and to keep on growing professionally. But it's something that, of course, you at the end, it's the beginning. Just to tell you a very nice story is that when I was studying in Les Roches, I got the bad idea, because great that it didn't happen. I decided also to try to work while I was studying. Don't do it, because it's actually hard, and you need to focus on the study. That's my point of view. But it's true that I was looking at that, and then my housemate, he gave me a paper with a name. It was the manager of the Iberostar hotel in Marbella, where I work later. But at that moment, of course, I didn't know that. So they had like an open position for being the hostess in the restaurant. I didn't have experience in hospitality, but I was able to speak languages. So I went there, and I wanted to see how the interview was. So, the metro interviewed me, and it didn't arrive to anything because I was not flexible. He needed me to go to the mornings and the afternoon, and I said, well, no, my focus right now is Les Roches, so I need to study, and thank you very much for that. But he did something that I will never forget, and he said, well, I'm going to introduce you to the general manager. So I got the opportunity to know the general manager, who was actually my boss after well, 1 year later. I got the connections, so it's actually what Guillermo was saying at the end. It's all about connections. It's all about getting in contact. And then, well, I actually did my internship, with another company. But then there was a process open for being the vice director of that hotel, Iberostar Marbella. So I started doing the process, and I got selected. And actually, just to go back to what we said, to be supported, I remember that I called Les Roches and I said to the person who was managing the internship, I don't know what to do because I cannot finish my internship because I got a job. And they were like, Inma, please, you got a job. Just forget about the internship. We will support you. We will convalidate everything afterwards. So it's good to have always someone who is actually helping you in certain decisions, because at that moment, actually, you don't know what to do. So I got promoted. I got the opportunity to work as a vice director, and actually when I got promoted afterwards as a manager, that was also the first hotel that I managed. So you never know how life can be connected. And it was just a paper that my housemate gave me because I was at Les Roches and we were colleagues and blah blah blah. So it's all about, as I said, luck, but also being connected and be prepared for taking the opportunities.
Fantastic. And talking about first jobs after graduation, Guillermo, you said that you just completed your internship in Dubai. Did you find that from the school? Did you find that on your own account?
From the school. Actually, from on my own, it was pretty difficult.
Mm-hmm.
But from the school, I got, I think, all the interviews that I did, except one program that it was not. It was also from the CDIP Les Roches. And actually, in my case, my internship was thanks to Roberto Rodriguez, is the director of CDIP in Marbella, because he had a very good connection with the HR manager of the hotel when I was in Dubai. And I think the interview process was only a phone call. See, this HR manager told me, I've spoken with Roberto. He's talking me amazing things, well, good things about you, and so on. And would you like to come? And I said yes. And that's exactly what Inmaculada was saying about that you feel supported by Les Roches, because before that and after that I felt supported as well to leave the place in very good terms with the hotel. And I was completely supported by the whole CDIP team, and after that as well. So yes, and and that's it. Yeah, basically. Yeah.
I might say. Oh, sorry.
No, please go ahead, Inma.
I might say, just to complement what Guillermo was saying, something that surprised me actually when I was finishing in that case I did the postgraduate program. I got surprised with all the opportunities and that I mean for the internship, because there were truly a lot of companies, and I know right now you have even more than what we had at that time. And it's amazing because you get to know a lot of companies, you get a lot of opportunities, and it's actually something that I think differentiates Les Roches from other schools, from my opinion.
Yeah,
that's a great point. I was just
sorry.
I was just going to mention for those that are joining us on the call today, the CDIP department is the Career Services Department, so it's Career and Industry Placement. So each semester they have it's a career day where we have over 90 different companies that are coming on campus to recruit students for both internships and graduate opportunities. So a lot of our students, including myself, when I graduated back in the day, that's where I found my first job after graduation. And it's a tremendous day to really make the connections, meet with people from the industries. And as you said, it's all about the networking as you're starting to get further on in your professional career. It's also not what you know, but also who you know as well that helps.
It was exactly what I was about to say, the career days. And the first internship I got, because the second one it was in the Bulgari hotels, the brand that is not as well known as Mandarin Oriental, but both had the most luxury ones. And the first one I got, it was Mandarin Oriental in London. Thanks to the career day, when they came to Les Roches to the presentation, I could do the interview, and I got the internship there. I couldn't go because of COVID, blah, blah, blah. But to be honest, I think most of the people that were prepared at the time to get the internship and went to the discovery days, a lot of them, thanks to that, they got the at least interviews to get experience. If not, you get the internship. So, or even a job. If you have already a hospitality background, they come for that, for the people with a hospitality background to the career day, not mostly, but you will get a job, or MIT in management in training. So it's one of the best things that Les Roches has. This company is coming for sure.
Yeah, because at the end, it's the most, I would say that the most difficult part to get that first step, the opportunity, and afterwards, it's all about yourself. It's all about your attitude. You're willing to grow, and but that's actually the most difficult part, and you get it from Les Roches. So that's pretty good.
They're basically coming to you when you have to go to look for them. So
exactly.
in the normal world, you know. Yeah.
That's true.
Guillermo, I find it, especially because of last year, all the challenges that we'd faced, that you still managed to find an internship thanks to the school. And overall, your experience of finding jobs apart from the career day, how easy or difficult has it been for you in terms of finding opportunities? And Inmaculada, for you as well, I know you're with the same company since you got your internship, then you switched over to Iberostar. But in terms of overall being able to find companies that have the positions that you wanted to get into and do the interview process, all in all, how simple was it for you?
Well, go ahead, please.
No, please, Guillermo. No
Okay.
worries.
I think I did in 1 year almost 10 interviews, and okay, that is a lot. And in terms of the processes, in the case of my internship was pretty easy because the hotel supported me with everything. I think most of the hotels do that. If you have to leave at least your continent and your passport, maybe you have problems with the visa, they will help you with that. Also, things supported by Les Roches. And for internships, I found internships for all positions: spa, rooms division, marketing, finance, F&B, everything. Managerial positions at MIT, management in training, and actually I was also in the process of a program that it was in Miami. It was an MIT, but for the United States, Miami, and it was a big thing. And I was about to get it, but at the end, it was with 1 year onwards, and I canceled it because I didn't know where I was going to be. But in any case, getting to the States is pretty difficult, and I was about to get it. So in any case, there is always a way out with the internship and the opportunities. The opportunities we have, and there's, I think, even for real estate, that is not much related with us, but I saw during COVID that they were starting to post not hospitality related jobs because we needed to find an internship or something, maybe marketing, real estate, and or not in a normal company, but on OTA, this type of stuff. This is not only hotel, but I mean, there is always ways and opportunities. At least what I found in during my process, and it was during COVID. Imagine without during this hard time. So.
But I think it's an interesting point that you say that they were posting a lot of jobs that were also not directly related to hospitality. But having a degree in studying hospitality means you have so many transferable skills that can go into any industry and you can still be successful.
Because you know how to provide a service, basically, is what we do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I cannot maybe talk a lot about interviews because it's true that I've been working with the company for a long time. But something that I can maybe recommend to the people who are listening to us today, it's something that I've learned because hospitality is a very grateful and a beautiful career, but it's also very, very demanding. So at the end, I think that every day is a challenge. And my advice will be just to keep learning because every day can be so different and you can learn so many things from absolutely everything. There is something that I would like I don't know to share, but it's something that I always also tell the team where I work with. Whenever you are done with something, just look if you can do it better. Just look at this, and if you can do it better, then just do it, and keep working, keep learning. As Guillermo was saying, go abroad. It's the time for taking opportunities and just trying. Absolutely, that's the time for that. Sometimes you think that the situation can be a little bit difficult, but just think that at that moment it's actually when you learn the most. I actually remember when I was the last hotel where I work as a vice director, so before getting promoted, I was really nearly to give up, because it was really hard. It was the manager I had. He was so strict. He was so rigorous. He was truly putting a lot of pressure, and I was really said, okay, that's everything I can give. I cannot give more. And afterwards, I realized that he was actually trying to measure my limits in order to see if I was prepared or not for being a manager. So he took the time to prepare me in terms of numbers, and also for in many working situations. If I'm a manager today, it's because of this situation. So whenever, what I've learned from this is that in difficult situations is when you learn the most. So keep on working, because I mean, if you know what you want, it's all about learning and keep growing.
And speaking about learning, what is something that you learned during your course at Les Roches that you apply today, or perhaps maybe you thought, oh, I'm never going to need this again, and actually, oh, wait, I remember this course from Les Roches, or I remember this.
I think you learn a lot of things. But if I actually remember one situation. It was with one subject that was facilities with Mr. Ojeda. I remember when we were receiving. Guillermo is laughing. Like, yes. I actually remember when I was doing that that subject. I mean, it was interesting, but I was like I don't know if I'm gonna use it. It was all about the structure of the hotel, the pipes, the fan coils, the water system, the air conditioning, and I was like, okay, I don't know if I'm really gonna use it. So it was really funny, because when I got promoted as a manager, one of the first things that I've done is that the head of the maintenance department, he took me to the machinery room. And he was explaining me everything, blah blah blah. And it was so funny, because he was kind of seeing, let's see how good she is in terms of facilities, and I mean, I actually remember all those graphics at the board, and I was able to explain him. No, I know how the system works. Of course, you don't need to know it in detail. You don't need to know how to close and the water, but you need to understand everything in order to be able to manage a hotel. And I saw Mr. Ojeda 2 years after that moment, and I told him, and we were both laughing, because it was truly important to understand, well, not only this, but also, of course, a lot of subjects. I actually applied. I remember that also for human resources, I have applied a lot of things when doing interviews, and there are a lot of things that I remember. And of course, at the end, it's what we were saying. It's just the base, and you need to build everything from that. But it really helps you a lot what you learn at Les Roches. I can say that.
Well, I think from your position, I think it must be very much important, because it's expenses what are out of there, and the proper functioning of the things that you cannot control of the hotel. So it is very important. It was the only one, not that I didn't like, but that I was like, you know.
It was hard. It was actually hard, and I remember that,
Yes.
actually we were like, do I really need that? Like, why? but
if in any case that anyone who's listening, if you take that out in an interview, because they expect for you to say the most common things, but if you take this subject facilities learning in an interview, they will be okay. This guy is special. This lady is special for sure. And from my side, one of my friends that I started the same internship with him, also from Les Roches in Dubai. he got promoted to supervisor before me, and actually during the last month of my internship, he was doing a menu engineering, and we did our whole project related to that. So it was like, okay, this is good. It's just and just, and man, you don't have to do anything. You just have to remember what we did in that case. Or for example, I haven't worked in front office yet, but we do these practical skills about how to do the check-in and check-out, and I mean that's literally what you have to do when you are on the reception. And if it's not that, to how to calculate also we learn the schedules of the people, also regarding finance and costing. There's another friend who was also with me there in Dubai, and he was pretty much into it because he was sure that he can work on finance, that is something that is not related to service, and to be in the front end. And he was sure that he learned a lot about all the expenses, in every department of the hotel, that he could manage everything, and he was pretty happy with it. So it's not all, yeah, it's like in different subjects. You pretty learn much how to defend yourself and be able to grow, starting with a very good base in that case. So I think most of the subjects are well chosen.
And so would you say taking this course is an overall, I guess just an overall, I don't know, like a step into the hospitality world? You learn a little bit about everything. You learn a bit about finance, you learn about facilities management, menu engineering, front office.
And you put it in practice also, Celina, because it's not only that you learn, it's not only that theoretical part. One of the things that Guillermo said is that you actually cook, you actually work as a steward. I mean, you do all these things, and it's really, really, really important to do it, because then it's when you understand how it operates at the end.
Yeah, and the fact that in Les Roches we have the name tag, or just you tell us every day, okay, say everybody a good morning to everybody, because that's what will you do. And once you are there, this is very important with guests and when you're hosting. Just to the fact of saying good morning to everybody is a sense of politeness, and they see that, the people in the hotel see that and say, okay, that's like the intrinsic part of Les Roches, what I was mentioning about the ambient and the vibe that is there, that everybody says goodbye to everybody, hi and goodbye to everybody, without even know them, because it's like, okay, why not, yeah, it's pretty fun. Yeah,
I think that's a nice comment, because even if you're doing your bachelor's, or in this case you did your Inmaculada, back then it was a postgraduate degree, now Guillermo graduated with the master's degree of the same course, that's just a little bit more enhanced present day, that even if you don't have any experience in hospitality, you're still learning everything from the ground up, because in order to be able to lead people, you sort of have to know what they're doing. And so it doesn't matter if you're starting from the very bottom, doing your bachelor's for the very first time, you're pursuing a career, or you're changing career, or you want to enhance your career, you're still getting a nice refresher course of everything that's related to hotel management.
Indeed.
And how would you say has this course helped you in your career to date? Especially now, Guillermo, for example, you're launching your own company, you're the co-founder of a new tech travel startup.
The future of hospitality, remember these words. So can you repeat the question, please?
How do you feel this course has helped you with your career to date?
Well, without going to Les Roches, I wouldn't know my partner. That is a former teacher. But in this case, not specifically, not talking specifically first of my startup, because before that I was consulting to all the teachers. Oh, where can I go? It was about where I wanted to work, which department, but it's kind of the same thing, because they help you to that. And after that, I found the teacher, and thanks to one article that I read, because also when you're studying, you have to do a lot of practical tasks and so on, not only, of course, not theoretical stuff. And then I was reading an article regarding the OTAs and the rating parity, so the difference of the rates between the OTAs, the hotels. Then I came up with an idea. I came up with that idea because I was seeing something from what I was learned that, okay, in this case there are a lot of OTAs in the world, and any of them is properly treating hotels and customers as well, because I think we all have had problems with OTAs, online travel agencies, and so on. And I was kind of thinking, okay, there's something that I can improve from the internal part of everything and improve it as well. Also, thanks, motivated by COVID to change the things. But it was from an article that I was in the subject of revenue management that I got the idea from. Because at the end, if you are encouraging us to read stuff, actually is one of the most important things Inmaculada said. Keep learning. That is what I mean right now. You are helping us to learn not only from the theoretical point of view, but reading articles and seeing in practical tasks actual problems of the industry. So I got the idea from there, and after that, we got some also internships from Les Roches as well. So it's been more than helpful. I mean, it's actually very supporting, Les Roches.
It is.
What do you think when you think about it? It's like, wow, it is a lot. So if you keep your mind open, you can have a very good idea, and Les Roches will be there for you. It's what happened to me in this case.
And I just wanted to say that since I graduated, that was in 2013, I've seen actually how Les Roches is also growing and growing and growing. And it's I got impressed about how many projects they have now. It's that spark taking place, but there are so many, and it's always involved in absolutely everything, growing, doing events. So it's really nice to see also that it's not only about the students, it's the school itself is actually the one who is doing, growing and keeping better every day, because it's amazing how good they are positioned right now.
I agree.
Yeah, and that's
Guillermo, you
it's very funny, Marbella, very funny. I'm
It
sure
is.
Bruce as well, but Marbella is really funny. But I just had to say this this thing
Yes,
because
and
you will enjoy.
and it's not only that. I mean, Marbella itself is it's all not only about the weather, the place, the atmosphere, the environment, but it's actually, if you want to work in tourism, that's a great place, because it's kind of the I mean, I will not say the center, but it's a very touristic part. So you get to know also companies that are actually operating there, and it's I think the place was very well thought.
Yes.
Excellent. Well, we are just coming up to the end of our session here. Does anybody in the audience have any questions that they would like to ask? We still have about a few more minutes left. Any questions for Inma or Guillermo about the program, the course, their experiences? You know, you guys mentioned some really great examples of feeling the support from the school. You not only get the support while you're a student at school, but as well afterwards through the alumni platform. We have a lot of services such as the mentoring program. We also have alumni ambassadors based in regions to provide further support for our community on the ground. Guillermo happens to be one of our alumni ambassadors for Spain, so he's been extremely supportive as well, in addition to very busy working on the startup of your company. And yeah, we do have a great support system, I think, and a lot of resources and tools to be able to connect with the network. So any questions from the audience? Please feel free to type it in the question box. Super.
If
So
not
questions.
also, no, sorry. I mean, I'm just saying, if not Celina, we can also share our contacts in case they want to have they have any question afterwards or something. We don't have. I'm sure Guillermo also the same. That's not any problem.
Exactly. I think the best platform is for me is LinkedIn. So anybody who wants to reach me out, yeah.
We'll share your LinkedIn profiles when we share this video afterwards for those that perhaps could not have made it today. But a question came through saying, what would be your better tips that you would give to new students? So do you have any tips or advice that you would share to new students?
Well, I think we said pretty much about it. Do not be afraid of taking risk. Actually, that's something that I will say that there are certain moments or certain periods of time, and now when you are starting and you are getting when you're growing or starting growing your career, I will say that take risks, because I always say that we don't work in a chemical factory, so no problem. I mean, there is at the end nothing we can do that is going to be a disaster. So just take risks, get involved in everything, and as we said before, keep learning, because you can learn from absolutely everyone. Hospitality is also a work that involves people at the end, and from people you can learn a lot. Managing people is for me the most beautiful part, but it's also the most difficult, and it's actually difficult sometimes, because if you work with machines, you know what to expect, but with people it's actually difficult, but it's of course the most beautiful part and what motivates me the most. So I would say go ahead, travel, as Guillermo said, take risk, and keep always learning.
Yeah, from my side, just related to that, don't have any expectation, because in Les Roches you will be surprised. When you go there, you find the vibe, the people, all the good advices that Inmaculada said, and you can, if you don't have expectations, you can learn everything from that point, and you will have anything to judge from that, from your previous experience. So say to that, you can, if you have an expectation and you let yourself impress and adapt to that, you will be bold enough to take risk and say, okay, I don't have any direction to go. Where is this leading me? Because there will be so many opportunities that you will say, okay, why not to take a risk and choose a different path? Because that is what I found here. Literally, I studied business administration, and I knew I wanted to do hospitality, but I let myself surprise. And at the end, I was lucky enough to do an amazing internship in Dubai and to be in the position of entrepreneuring and building a company from the scratch. So it is just like that. Let yourself impress and adapt to anything.
Amazing. Great answers. Guillermo and Inmaculada, thank you so much for your time. We don't have any more questions from the audience, but for those of you that would like to know a little bit more about the Masters in International Hotel Management program, check our website, laroche.edu. And as Inma and Guillermo said, please don't hesitate to reach out to us if you have any further questions, want to get in touch with them, connect with them on LinkedIn. We will share their contact details. But yeah, thank you so much for your time, both. It was lovely to speak with you. Hopefully our audience members found it very fruitful and beneficial for them as they go on to make their decision if they'd like to pursue this program and pursue this career. But until then, I wish everyone a wonderful day, and hopefully we will welcome all of our audience members to the Les Roches family very soon.
Thank you very much, Celina, and thank you very much to everyone who was here. It has been a pleasure to be part of this.
Same here. Thank you so much, and hope to see you again, both of you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Thank you.